All right, welcome back. DM Winslow. Here we're going to use Pathfinder First Edition, Roll20. We're going to use dynamic lighting. You've seen the advertisements, you made the decision, you made the purchase, and now just kind of figuring out how does it work and how to use it. So very quickly, let's go through it. So I've already got my asset uploaded here. I always recommend being in map when you bring your asset over. A lot of times it will grab it and offer to resize it, which is nice. It didn't do it for this one. I'm going to stretch it out. Today we'll be building the massacre house. It looks a little wide. I'm going to bring out the settings real quick. Just bring it to a nice little 35. I probably should have done this ahead of time so you don't have to see me painfully resize it. Alright, this one already has some squares on it. We're going to see if the squares are close to the same size. They are. So we're actually going to go ahead and turn off the grid. Because we already have a grid available on the map. Alright, so with any dynamic lighting, you kind of have to turn it on. By default, it's usually off. You'll go into the settings. You'll turn it on. If you're outside in an outside setting, like maybe a house in a forest, I recommend doing the daylight setting. But when you're going to have an interior dungeon like this, actually, technically the massacre house might be a building outside. So let's go ahead and just turn that daylight setting on. And at first, you always want to turn on update token when drop. But when you're building it, go ahead and have that set off. That's going to make things easier for you. Save settings. You're going to see the map gets darker. We're going to zoom in a little bit on our area. Over here on the left is the draw icon. The biggest thing, make sure you're on light. So important, or you'll start drawing on the wrong stuff. I always like a little bit of red, and there's a couple different settings here. We've got transparent, one-way, wall, and we'll explain how we can use those differently later. But let's go ahead and get started, and we're going to draw our walls. Using this click method, the pin line, click, click. Right-click to end it. You'll see it get darker. If you don't right-click, it's going to keep going, which in certain scenarios you want it to do that. Sometimes you don't. Didn't work that time. Having some technical difficulties here. All right, you can do undo for that one. Okay, there we go. It's working the way it should be now. Then just very quickly, click, click, right click, 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 right click. If you want to zoom in, you can really get your accuracy up and try to tighten it up. But I always like to see a little bit of the wall so the players really know that the wall's there, what color it is. A lot of times you can make it too tight, and basically you're kind of losing some of the detail of the world. You'll do your interior lines. Click, click, right click. I like to do this little left thing here and then come back for these type of angles. We're doing this real fast and loose. Zoom out, make sure that we have everything. Okay, cool. All right, now we're going to put some doors in. Over here, lighting, place a door. Now, here we go. Restrict player movement. You always want this on. This is going to stop the tokens from going past the walls and past the doors and past your windows. Click. I'm going to go ahead and just put them all down right now. And then we're going to come back and we're going to adjust them. This can be bad because sometimes you have a hard time deleting doors. We'll go back to the selector. Zoom in a little bit, and we're just going to want to take these white dots, click them, drag them, connect them, get them attached to your walls. Sometimes you might not have made the connection, and there will be little cracks. There's this part of this process where you'll get to check for that, and that has to do with the update token on drop, but we'll show you that later. Now, the doors do have some cool options. When you click on them, you can decide if they're going to be secret doors, locked doors, unlocked, open. You know, if you want the door to be ajar, you can make it ajar. The jar is a door. Anyways, put that right here. All right. And that's it. We've got our initial doors in. Everything looks good. I don't know this map. I'm just doing this for a friend. So I don't really know if there's any secret doors, but I don't see any S's, so we'll just assume that way. Now I do see some light, so let's go ahead and add some light in. There's what I was talking about, the secret lock door opened. We'll click it again. Place light. We'll go ahead and put a light. Something go, oh, it's because that token is there. That's why. That makes so much sense. Back to it. All right, light is there. And I love to change the colors of lights. So this light actually looks like it should be smaller. So we'll go to the dynamic lighting. By default, they're usually like 2020s. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit more tinier. So that way it doesn't have much of an impact. We'll change the light color to orange to kind of have like a fire. And let's go ahead and hit save settings. And then if I want to denote that I've changed the color, I can even change it here as well on the icon. Okay, let's go ahead and I always like doing a couple open doors because in a second here we're going to have a character run around and he's going to check everything for us. And so you're always going to play test it a little bit to make sure that everything looks good. Okay, so we'll go over here. We will get we'll use Alma Rovashki today. Now with the characters, you have to turn their light on. By default, it's off. So we've turned Alma's vision on. She doesn't have night vision. And we're going to give her... Well, we won't give her anything right now because it's daylight. Now, my favorite feature, so make sure you click it. Oh, I just made a mistake. Watch this. You'll see I put Alma on the lighting. Yep, that's bad. Change her to token. Select, token, click. Here we go. Control L. Boom. Now we see what Alma sees. We're going to zoom out. And because we don't have update token with drop, we can just click her and drag her. And she's going to be able to give us our view of this area. And we'll be able to see how everything is. And there we go. You see here, this is what I was talking about. See how there's like a little line right there at the bottom? That's what you got to fix. So we're going to click out, zoom in, where you go back to your lighting, and just kind of close that door so that goes away. You'll see it kind of fixes itself. And so that's kind of why you kind of play test it, because you want to get rid of those little cracks. So it's important. Control L to go back in. And I'm just kind of dragging the player around, getting a look of everything. And what sucks is you have to kind of close doors to test them. So we're going to close all the doors here, because if the door is open, you'll be able to see through it. But if you close the door, any cracks will become extremely apparent. When we're in this mode, I can just click the character and drag it. Control L, move it around. Okay, nothing there. Here. Yep, see? See? There we go. So zoom in, go back to lighting, click my door, and close it up. And that's a really cool way to kind of tighten it up and make it feel neat. Not neat. What's the word? Consistent and immersive, because that's what you're going for. So there we go. And that is building our dungeon using lights. A quick mention real quick is we have windows here. You can drop some windows. They have lock windows, open windows. And with that, you have to leave a gap, just like we did with our doors, and then you can place them. To mention different types of walls. If you have like maybe let's say an elevation, and you want the characters to be able to go forward but not be able to come back, we can use, let's change it to lighting. You can change it from a wall to like a one-way, and then maybe you're like in a big boss room and you need big windows that kind of see out over an area. You can do transparent for transparent windows. There's even times where I've used transparent walls to act as windows. So pretty cool stuff. That's a really basic tutorial for that. Remember, you can turn off the daylight feature to make it dark outside. Your players are going to be turning lights on. So whenever that happens, you'll need to go in and you'll need to adjust their lighting. And once again, you can do that by clicking on the character. Going to dynamic lighting, they have, you can limit the field of vision if you want a cone light, bright light, low light. It's going to give you the total light when you make those settings. You can even change the color of the light. Another pro tip for dark vision is changing the color of the dark vision into maybe a red or a gray. So all really, really cool stuff. That was my very quick tutorial on dynamic lighting for Roll20. Thank you guys so much. You have a great day.